So have you heard about the police IQ upper limit thing?
No.
I was researching about this.
No.
So this is a thing that people write on Reddit. So I was curious about it. The police have been reported to have certain police departments. Obviously, police are not a federal organization. They have different jurisdictions and legislations have IQ upper limit, allegedly, because if you score too high, you're likely to get bored with police work and leave soon after undergoing costly training.
Okay.
So seems kind of weird to me because you don't necessarily not want smart people to be police officers, and also because I've never heard of any other job having that fear. You know what I mean? They don't IQ test you before you go to McDonald's. They just say, oh, you're willing to take this pay to do this job? Sure.
Well, there's very little training in McDonald's. That's the other thing. It's not as costly to have people. Like, people come in and out of McDonald's like crazy.
Sure.
There's police academy. There's all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I would be curious to know if there's a cap on military IQs.
What you'd be looking for to find a comparison is a high training job that didn't necessarily require super high IQ or super high cognitive something.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard of any other job ever.
I know that the military has a bottom 10% that they don't take.
Well, you'd like an IQ minimum requirement for military police work.
But do you know like what the cutoff is
for maxing out? I think they said it's like 115
of the police academy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it might be higher. That's interesting.
No, it's not like 160.
Yeah, because I was going to be like, there's a number which I just go, who cares? That's fascinating. Yeah, that's not that high.
Yep.
For them to be. Yeah, that's a bummer.
And this number gets, by the way,
but that's not. But there's like detectives and stuff like that. There's different roles.
Sure, it's the FBI,
police
which is hard as fuck to get into as
well.
The other thing is this number gets quoted all the time on Reddit. If you Google it, every news organization has written about it at one point or another. I tried to track down the actual data, and this is the most interesting thing to me because I was digging into it. I couldn't find anything more recent than a local Supreme Court case. I think it was for Connecticut from 1999.
Let's throw that one out then.
No, well, this is the interesting thing. A guy sued because they didn't get the job because of the IQ and got rejected, and then sued, and the Supreme Court said, no, they're allowed to do this, but it was all public, right? But then nothing has been released since, which is very strange to me because it means that either no one has sued since, which would seem strange, or the press isn't covering it, or the rule got changed. But if the rule was changed, why wasn't there any coverage? And so the weirdest part to me is like, I think that this narrative is something that clearly people like having. They get quoted on Reddit. Mm-hmm. They write about it in news articles. But there's been nothing in 21 years to say if it's still out there or not. No one's released anything. So to me, I'm just like, this is very strange that everybody clings to this one anecdote of one trial and is adamant that police have an upper IQ limit and quote it all the time. Mm-hmm. But there's not any actual data to say it's true or not,
the case.
Which is weird because you'd think the police would come out and just have press releases being like, this is bullshit. Even in that particular
thing, all that does is that just is about Connecticut's police department.
Correct.
That would be, if that was 100% true, all that would establish is that at that particular year, that was true of that Connecticut department.
Yeah. So and maybe you haven't heard this, but the most interesting part to me was like, this is a very well known truth, I guess, that there's no one has any evidence that it's true except for in the state of Connecticut in 1999.
Let's call it it's more conventional wisdom.
That's what I'm saying.
Whether it's it's true, we don't even know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if you go on Reddit for anything about cops, you'll see a 1,000 upvoted comment quoting, well, of course this is what happens when they don't let people with high IQs in. It's like, this might not be true. Like, I don't know
what to make of it. I mean, it could just be, what you call it, like alligators in the sewers, is for all I know.
Yeah, what's strange to me is if that were the case, why isn't there any news about how it's not true?
Well, I could understand that would be like more Snopes' role. Like there's a lot of...
Sure, Snopes or a press release from police, like, what are they called? Whatever it is, police office. Mm-hmm. No one's like debunking it either. Mm-hmm. So I just thought it was weird. It's like this weird thing that gets quoted all the time that has no data one way or the other.
Yeah, but I don't know. I avoid speaking authoritatively on it because It might not even be real. So to comment like that's ridiculous or that's appropriate. But assuming that it is the case and that they do have an upper bound, say of 115 in some precincts, because they find that people leave the work, I don't know that I would have a particular, well, I guess I would because I'm thinking this through real time. We don't have any established laws that prevent discrimination based on intelligence, do we? Not to my knowledge. Like you're allowed, I think that's kind of the point of a job interview in many ways. So yeah, to set an upper limit because you wouldn't be fit for the job seems just as fair as setting a lower limit because you wouldn't be fit for the job. Even though there might be people that would be fine with it. It's like, look, we can't take you all on average because it's just too expensive. That seems like it would be a reasonable thing to do. Mm-hmm. And having that limit, if it is the case that they did because people left the job, is not the reason that there's issues with the police because those people don't want to be there. You know what I mean? Like they tried having them in there. They didn't start kicking them out. If that reasoning is true, then that's not causing the problem. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description. We'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one.